This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, hello.
Hello, James.
Silas. A ti.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Silas. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Hello.
Silas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, okay.
Let me see here. All right, let me switch. I had my wireless headphones on right now. I guess you weren't able to hear me with that, so I'm switching over to the normal setup.
Okay.
All right, and we're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me put on my volume a little bit higher because I think it's a little bit low. Okay.
Yeah, you're a little low on my ears.
Yeah, you are okay. Let me hold on. Let me put the volume up a little bit higher. Hopefully that'll fix that situation. And what about now? Is it a little bit higher now?
Yeah, you're a little bit louder.
Okay. I don't want to go too loud because then I'm gonna be I don't want to blow anybody's speakers out on their computer or mobile device.
Okay.
So hey, how are you doing today? How's everything over there on your side of the state?
I'm holding up. A few challenges, but overall I'm doing well.
Okay. Yeah, and we got let me see, who do we got? So we got KC_fan1. She's writing in the chat. Hello, James and Silas. And we also got Ms. Vero559, and she writes hello on the chat also. Hey, welcome. Hey, thank you guys for tapping in.
Absolutely, thank you both for joining us.
And normally when me and Silas jump on these calls in the late night, Silas has coined the phrase late night hype. So that's what we're gonna be getting into tonight.
This is the late night hype, a semi-early edition.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You got this, Silas. You got it.
So now I was just thinking, I've been having a lot of conversations, lately, and a lot of them have just been about just the deep struggle within each and every one of us to overcome like all of the negativity and the bad energy within ourselves, and to reach our potential and our highest selves, and it's just no matter where you are, what station you are in life, it's just a common thing amongst us. It's just a part of the human condition, and I just thought it was just really interesting that a lot of the conversations that I've been having with people, and really even internally within myself, has been just about, that struggle to just maintain and stay on a good frequency, a good positive, and productive frequency, and kind of prevail all over, all of the iniquity and negativity that can kind of seep into our minds and hearts. And I just thought that was really interesting. It's just been kind of like a revolving thing amongst the people that I talk to.
You know what? And I have a question. How do you guys, overcome, when you guys have thoughts like that in your mind? Because I have thoughts like that on a daily basis, all day, every day. I'm always having some way out thoughts sometimes, but I don't act on them. They just run across my mind for whatever reason.
For me, it's been historically I've always been somebody that I've always felt victim to my own stupidity and my own lack of vision and being short-sighted and performing for the expectations of others, and I've kind of been like, in the past I've kind of been prisoner to that, whether it's been gangland mentality or criminal mentality or just groupthink in general, just performing for and being shackled by the expectations of others. And now I found that, a lot of the time that I'm able to just maintain, if not overcome, just maintain by, being held captive to the things that I want now, the life that I want, the things that I desire outside of this space. And so for me, I think it's just been a process of just me being, just staying in tune with the things that I want, ultimately that I want to achieve in life and who I ultimately want to become. And it's difficult making them.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I mean, it's really, really hard because I've always been the type of person that, I've been a cheap date in the past. I was a sucker for a cheap thrill. So, having the satisfaction of winning, of a what seemed like a win in the moment in deference to the future was just like always my jam. But now I found that, I got to sacrifice the moment in deference to the future. So that's being hopeful and looking forward, and and being linear in my thought process and keeping me focused on the things that I want are kind of the things that help me, like I said, if not overcome, just at least just maintain my focus and not do the wrong thing, not do the bad thing that I've always turned to in the past.
I see, Silas. Man, you know what? Like, I guess the difference between a lot of the guys that are there and me was that I just thought about those things and you guys acted those things out, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and there's a state of being that you put yourself in that makes, whatever crazy thing you're thinking about, permissible. For me, it was, when you live in the jungle, I mean, you live by the law of the jungle, so, I mean, obviously, you only eat what you kill, and they're apex predators, and there's a food chain, and there's that hierarchy in the land of the jungle, and so you get used to going by that. You subscribe to that, and nothing else really matters. And so everything in your life is pretty much all or nothing. So, I mean, it kind of clears the way for your thinking that makes any type of decision that any rational, well-adjusted person in society would look at as just crazy. It makes it look like an option, makes it look like, like that this is something that, that I can act out, and ultimately it leads us to feeling like, we can act it out and doing it.
But you know what? I think, like, I mean, the more you act out and take these actions, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a thing that progresses. Action after action, eventually to where you do an action where that it can't be done, and you have all eyes on you, and by that time, I mean, it's the damage is done, and you can't undo what you did.
Right. Like I mean, you just articulated it, beautifully. I mean, moral lapses don't just, they're like pennies. They add up. You may have somebody that walks into a store and steals a 25-cent pack of gum. I mean, I'm sure gum ain't a quarter anymore.
About $1.50, maybe two.
About $1.50, maybe two. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, you had the little, double mint or whatever, the 5 pieces of gum in there, and it'd be 25 cents. You know what I mean? And so, you have somebody that walks in and steals a pack of gum, and they're thinking is, they're nervous, their hands are clammy, they're afraid of getting caught, and but they're, hey, I want this, and I don't have the money to buy it, and you may even justify it in your mind, like, hey, they have all this stuff in here, this stuff is insured, they're not going to miss this, and so, and then you're going in there and you're stealing a bunch of stuff, hey, I want this, I need this, and and then it's not that much of a stretch, until, okay, I'm just gonna go in here, I'm gonna stick the place up, I'm not gonna hurt anybody, and until one day you're going in there and hey, I'm getting what I came for, and I don't give a damn who gets hurt, who I have to hurt, there's like you said, there's a progression with moral lapses. There are always a lead up, a build up to it. You can't just hit the floor and do 100 push-ups nonstop. You got to do 10, 20 and build up until you can just go all the way through,
Yeah, absolutely. And I just looked that over at the chat here. We got Lamar in the chat. He's hitting the deuces.
What's up, bro?
Hey, Lamar, how's it going? Hey, thank you, for always, coming in and supporting whenever Silas comes on. And then we also got Veronica or Miss Vero 559 over from TikTok, and she's asking, how do you stay positive with so many obstacles?
It's difficult. It's difficult to stay positive, especially in a place where there's so much negativity and there's so many different varieties of BS that you can just get into. I mean,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I think the most difficult thing is that everybody here has some type of trauma, whether you be in prison or in society, everybody comes equipped with a reason or an excuse to fail that we can brandish anytime we get ready. And you have a lot of pitfalls in here, whether it be, the gang stuff or just the criminality and getting caught up in all of that stuff. And for me, I find positivity in the things that give me hope. Whether we're talking about self-help groups like CGA or a cognitive behavioral therapy group that I'm a part of on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the mornings. My education, my bachelor's degree education, those things, they give me hope and they keep me looking forward and they keep affirming and reaffirming that I can be more than what I've been in the past. And I see those flashes, those glimpses of myself, of who I ultimately am going to become. And
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
And those are the things that I hold on to, that makes it possible for me to keep thriving in here.
Yeah, man, those 15 minutes just flew by, Silas. Man, I wasn't even expecting to get that 60-second prompt.
Yeah.
if you want to go ahead and just call back, and we'll go ahead and continue.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, hey, Michael, how's it going? How are you doing? How's it going out there in Toronto? And right now, when Silas calls back right now, I last night I was working on my payphones here, and I finally was able to rig it up to when they call, it's gonna be ringing the blue phone now, and whenever anybody in the audience calls, it's gonna be ringing the silver one. But then I figured some other issues out that I wasn't aware of previously. The number I got set up for the incoming calls for the audience, I didn't realize that it only rings one phone, and normally I have it set up to ring my cell phone and the prison phone. There it is, and I'm not sure if you guys can hear it.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Okay.
All right. So right now, when you hung up, I was telling the audience right now that last night I was working on these on the prison payphones, so I was finally able to rig it up towards when you call now, when you guys call the number now, it rings the blue phone. I was having some issues on getting that down or getting that done because they recently made some changes to the system I was using, and as of December, you weren't able to add any of those phone numbers onto these type of accounts. Luckily, I was messing around with it yesterday, and I kind of found a way, to get that done. So instead of hearing, now they're going to be hearing Taylor Swift, but they're also going to be hearing a phone ringing in the background. So that's pretty cool. So if I happen to be away from my cell phone when you guys call up, and I happen to be in here and the phone goes out, then I could just go ahead and jump on one of the prison pay phones when you guys call.
Let me find out you a Swiftie, James.
Hey, it's a funny story. So I didn't want to have the normal ringtones that the phone comes with, and I downloaded this app that lets you download custom ringtones. And I was like, the only thing is with that app, it doesn't let you search for artists or anything like that. So I just clicked on like the number one song on there that they had, and it just happened to be Taylor Swift. But it's funny because it's Taylor Swift singing, and then like about 20 seconds into it, it's like this woman screaming. So anytime that phone goes off, I always try to pick it up before the screaming start. If not, I might get some strange looks, because so the audience, they just hear the good part.
Yeah, well, I was thinking when I was calling back, what the viewer asked me about how do I remain positive. I gotta say, these last few months, wow, these last few months have been just. I've had a lot of darkness and a lot of beautiful things that have happened for me in my life. I'm going through something right now. Something with family right now. It's kind of it's kind of rough. But spaces like this, James, putting this together for us and allowing us to be here in the cell and.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
In speaking and communicating, allowing our voices to be heard and and commune with the public is just like, it's been a huge boost of positivity in not just my life, in all of the participants' lives. So I got to thank James because this is, and as well all of the viewers, because having this platform for us, and having the ability to show who we are and move beyond, our worst decisions has been, really, really a positive thing in all of our lives. And I mean, not to say the least mine. So.
Man, you know what? You know what? When I started all of this, and you're welcome, Silas. I didn't think the impact that it was gonna have on your guys' lives. Coming on here, sharing your stories, and then it overall, I feel it's been positive feedback that we've been getting from the audience. Um, Up until once Joe got out. I think when Joe got out, I think when a lot of people saw him coming out at the beginning, it was really, really good feedback. But now I'm starting to see some other comments that people are throwing out there, and I'm like, wow, man, there's some really different views people got, on him coming home. Um, I respect everybody's decision and outlook, or opinion on what they think when people do come home. But man, I would rather have you guys come out rehabilitated and an asset to society than coming back out here and not have any skills and just be thrown to the wolves. So I'm read off a comment right here that Michael from Toronto put on the chat right here. He puts a good thanks. Always looking forward to your podcast. Good stuff. You guys are good stuff. You guys are doing. So I never imagined any of that. Having people looking forward to listening to the conversations that you guys bring to the table. And reading comments like that and hearing what you just said, it validates the idea and the thoughts that I've had for the last few years about wanting to start something up like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I mean the world. That's just the way of the world, I mean, Joe obviously, he earned an opportunity, to be where he is in society and to begin again. And there's gonna be varied opinions, and just like you, I respect everyone's opinion as long as it's coming from from a genuine place, and you can disagree with the result of the rehabilitative efforts on somebody's part. I think the most important thing is just what you just said, though. I mean, like it or not, we're coming home. And so that's not the question anymore. When I came to prison 23 years ago, that was the question. And it wasn't even a question. We weren't coming home. So it was just to lock them up, throw away the key, and, we were just society's dirty little secret that you can forget about. But I think there's two important points that I want to make. And the first one is that a criminal or gang member or, the mentality of someone like that and the acts and the person that leads here, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. We weren't transported here from outer space. All of us come from your communities out there in society, and we are the byproducts of a broken system out there. Whether it be in equity of education, vocational opportunities, the healthcare, just our opportunity in general. And by no means, having a lack of resources is no excuse for criminality, But I think it's important, however, to contextualize the individual's experience, that leads to this place. Second, what I want to say is, like I said, we're coming home. So the question isn't, are we coming home anymore? It's, who do you want in your society? Who do you want living next door to you? Who do you want shopping at the store with you? Do you want me 23 years ago? or do you want me now, a college graduate, an author, a father, a husband, a brother, someone who respects and values my fellow man and is of service and will do what I can within reason to help people in my community? Or do you want the Silas that came to prison 23 years ago, a robber, a murderer, a gang member, someone who was callous and had no regard for human life? I would choose me, who I am now, to go into society. So I think that's just the question, and I think another question we need to ask ourselves as human beings is, is there a life that's disposable, that isn't worth redeeming, that isn't worth saving? There are different views on that. Obviously, you have people who are in favor of the death penalty. You have people who are anti-death penalty, like myself. And I'm of the mind that every human life is valuable and every human life is worth saving. And the mentality that is otherwise is exactly the mentality that led me to commit murder and led me to prison. So I think we need to be really careful when we start throwing stones and we start making these, pigeonholing ourselves or painting ourselves in the corner about, our viewpoints and about, our moralities, because I think life is more complicated than just black and white.
Yeah, you know what? With the death penalty, I'm on the fence about that, or I think there is certain people that probably do deserve it. I think there's certain things you can't come back from, and I think one of those things would be is when you hurt kids, and you do it over and over again. I think it's just, that's, when it comes to kids are so innocent, and for somebody to hurt them, like, to hurt them and exploit them, I think for that,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I think when it comes to something like that, then I would like the death penalty on the table.
I in the past, I would have agreed with you 100%.
Yeah.
After I achieved my associate's degree in psychology, and after going through my degree path at Imperial Valley College, I've come to view that aspect differently. While I find anyone in the crime of harming an elder, a woman, or a child, most of all, while I find that abhorrent and disgusting, I also look at the reality of it. It's like, I can't get into the mindset of someone who would harm a child, because that's just a bridge too far. That's just, even at my worst as a murderous gang member, that was something that was just beyond the tale for me to ever even fathom, or conceive. That being said, I think the reason for that is because it's a sick act, and it's difficult for me now to say that someone has committed a sick act continuously and not deem that person sick and ill. So if someone harms a child in some of the ways that, and I won't get graphic, obviously,
Yeah.
but just in those ways, then this person, you're dealing with someone who is not well and who is sick. And in a society, in this society that I hope that we are building in America, is the answer to is that the answer? That's the question that, I mean, it still is haunting for me. We have people on the yard here who have actually been transferred from San Quentin from death row. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I am.
So there are people. Yeah, I have a neighbor, right, 2 cells over that that is here from death row. There's a cat downstairs who, and while I don't know their crime or there are people here who have been sentenced to death. Who obviously there's a moratorium on.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
And for those of you who don't know, they've stopped the death penalty. They put the governor has pushed pause on it indefinitely, and I think it's really tough. For me, it comes down to this: in a society where the laws say that it's wrong, legally and morally, to commit murder, to have state-sanctioned execution, it's kind of antithetical and goes against that morality in that law. It just there's a confliction there that I can't reconcile.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, we've had somebody come on that is a former death row inmate. Do you know Carlos? Carlos Contreras. All right. So the 15 minutes were up, and Silas should be calling back shortly, and we'll go ahead and continue with their conversation here. And I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Eric Martinez. Buenas noches, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? And we also got Nando, and Nando wrote, let's see, put a sup body. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. All right, Silas is calling in, and here we go.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
All right, Jen.
Yeah. So what I was saying right before, I passed the 15-minute mark. That we've had a former death row inmate come on. Do you know Carlos Contreras?
I believe I do. Does he work in canteen?
Yeah, I wish I knew Silas.
I believe I know who it is.
Okay, yeah, he was formerly in death row. He came from I think he was in Donovan for a bit, and then he ended up making his way over to Centinela. So yeah, and he's originally from Riverside. If that helps connecting the dots, but right now that I'm on the subject of Riverside, ICEMAN formed us some time ago that Riverside has the highest number of death row inmates in the state of California. I think there's about 10% that come from Riverside County, and I think it might be the highest in the whole state of California.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I've actually read transcripts where Riverside had sent their representative for the district attorney's office, and it was their opinion that no lifer, regardless of what they do, is eligible for parole. So this gives you a little insight on Riverside County's district attorney's office, and how they administer justice.
You know what? Since we're on the stance of Riverside County's district attorney's opinion on or stance on lifers, do you know what their opinion on? Do you know what they're gonna do? Because eventually, with everybody getting out death row, what do you think the state of California is going to do? Do you think they're going to commute everybody's death sentence to a life sentence, or how do you think they're going to handle that? Do you have any insight on that side?
I don't know. I really believe that their future is up in the air. I know that they're shutting Clinton down, and everyone is being dispersed from there and going to different prisons. However, I don't know about their sentence being commuted to life without the possibility of parole, or even life with the possibility. I mean, obviously that's the first step, I guess, would be life without. I think that obviously the governor, whose governor, has a great amount to do with what happens with them next. And I mean, I kind of think they're just at the mercy of the next governor.
Does the governor have the option to commute their sentence if he wanted to do something like that?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's totally within the governor's purview to commute someone's sentence. I know that governor has the authority to commute, to change an LWOP to life with the possibility of parole and put them before the parole board. So
yeah,
I definitely, and they have the ability to stop an execution. So I mean, the logical conclusion is to believe that he could, take someone off death row and make them life without the possibility of parole.
And Casey _ fan 1 writes, yes, he does. Imagine if he commuted everybody. Man, I'm sure there would be a lot of upset people if that actually were to happen.
Maybe I don't doubt that. Ironically, I believe that's more of a reflection of our society than the perpetrators who've actually committed the crimes. I mean, I don't know. I kind of, like I said, now that I'm older, I have a different view. This was years ago, over 10 years ago, maybe a dozen years ago. I can't remember exactly what year, but I was in Corcoran Shoot, and they had stormed Ben Laden's compound and killed him.
Yeah.
And I'm in Corcoran Shoe, and I'm turning on the television, and I'm watching people celebrate in the streets, like back east in like New York or Connecticut or whatever. Like, they're just in the streets celebrating like the team won the Super Bowl. And I mean, obviously, per the government report, I mean, this person is, had something to do with, atrocities. And notwithstanding, you're still celebrating somebody's death. And that was kind of macabre to me, just looking at that. And just, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's just, I'm starting to view things a little bit differently, and kind of like I wasn't looking at who they allege this person to be. I'm just looking at the fact that people are exalting and celebrating in someone's death, someone's murder. And that just kind of struck me as odd, because the reason why these people are celebrating his murder.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Was because other people were allegedly murdered at his hands or his direction, and it just struck me as really hypocritical, and I mean, obviously I'm not propagating for any terrorism or a terrorist, but just I'm just looking at things, from a holistic perspective, from an objective perspective, and it's kind of changed the way that I think about things.
You know what? Right now that you mentioned that about, I'm not gonna even say his name because last thing I want to do is get flagged just because that's one of those names or words you can't say on here.
Oh
But
yeah, my bad.
I gotta
My
watch.
bad. I was just
You just never know, Silas. You know, I know. Like so now, you know, ever since that thing happened over there on TikTok, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm gonna try to start having conversations. Like if I'm talking to my mom, trying to keep it PG
yeah,
under PG. What's under PG-13? Man, I don't even know. It's
PG,
PG.
right? You got
Okay,
PG,
yeah.
you got PG.
I'm about to keep it PG.
Yeah, and to the viewers, by I'm a storyteller, so forgive me. I don't mean to trigger anybody with my reflection. That's just I'm a storyteller, so I pull from different personal anecdotes and experiences in my life. So by all means, I don't mean to offend anybody out there.
And Eric writes in the chat here. He writes, I believe that the parole board could approve someone from parole, but sometimes the governor won't approve it. Yeah, and that is true. And I'm pretty sure Silas has a few or he's witnessed a few people get denied by the governor, and it does happen sometimes, depending on how
Yeah, definitely.
how
Definitely.
notorious.
I mean, a lot of people.
Yep.
A lot of people think that when you go to board that once you get a grant, it's in the story, and tomorrow you're going home. Well, actually, there's a 5-month, waiting period, and it's a review period, and they send your grant to the governor, and the governor can either sign off on it, take no action, which is pretty much giving you the right of way to go home, or he can embark you, and that's ENBANC, and or just flat out just deny you and say, I'm not letting you out. I don't care if they gave you a grant. No, you're not getting out on my watch. But the embark process is basically the governor punting your parole grant back to the Board of Parole hearing and essentially saying, hey, I know you guys granted this guy, but are you sure? Here, take another look at this before we let this guy go. And after that, they schedule you for what they call a recession hearing. And a recession hearing is to decide if they're going to actually stay your grant and leave you with your grant of parole, or if they're going to rescind it and take it back and essentially give you a denial. And so I've seen people, there was somebody here, he got a grant, he was embarked, they took him to a recession hearing, and they took his date back. He went a year and a half later, he got a grant again, they embarked him again, he went to a recession hearing, and they finally let him go. So yeah, it's definitely it's a journey. It's a journey, nothing is certain.
And now that you mentioned that, I do remember when Joe came home. That was one of his biggest fears was being found eligible, to come home, and then them taking his data away while he was waiting, to be released. So that's one of the reasons he wanted to keep it quiet. He wanted to let everybody know he came home once he was out of the gate. Once they couldn't change their mind, once he was out on in the free world. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in his shoes have that fear of getting that date pulled.
Yeah, I mean it's stressful. It's a stressful process, and I mean rightfully so. I mean if you're someone like me who's committed a homicide, then there should be every check and balance in place to make sure that I'm the type of that I've actually changed, and that I've transformed who I am as a human being, and that there is no threat to public safety. So that they're doing their job. So that's. I mean, I have no gripes, about that. That being said, being on this side of it and having to go through the process is another thing. It's nerve-wracking, it's stressful, and so yeah, it's definitely it's not for the faint of heart.
No, you know what, and I'm pretty sure going through the whole process of, just getting ready for the parole board, then going in front of the parole board, and then waiting those 150 days to see if the governor is going to pull your date. All of that is it's just stressful, overall. So I'm pretty sure you guys stress about it maybe for like a year to 6 months, while you guys are going through those motions.
Yeah, the lead up, for those of you who don't know, I am in my 23rd year of a 24-year license for second-degree murder, first-degree robbery, and I recently went to board December 13th and was denied for 3 years. And I'm scheduled for a review in November of this year, which could potentially send me back as early as May next year. Yeah, it was. I mean, as I've said before, my board was postponed from June, and I waited to 6 months ago until December, and I mean.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Man, she got us with a double whammy right there. Talk about awful timing.
She wasn't playing.
No.
But yeah, just June to December, only to be told that, to get a denial, it was like, well, I just waited 6 months just for, it was just, it was heartbreaking, and, but yeah, it leading up to the process, it was stressful. Now, like, being on the other side of it, I'm kind of free because, I mean, I'm not preparing for anything. I'm just being who I am and just living life. So, actually, a lot of the anxiety's been taken away this time,
Hey,
this
Silas,
time around.
call back.
Hey, Silas.
Is about to hang up.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I remember when Silas was getting, because he has to get all his write-ups, his 115s, and then I think you have to also write a statement to the board of paroles, and then they ask you, they ask you a lot of questions when you go in front of them. So just the preparation that you have to take. Oh man, Silas is getting fast. That was fast. All right.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Silas.
All right.
So just to give you the heads up, tonight it's going to be a short session. So this would be our last call of the night, just because I got to go pack up all my equipment, and I got to go play Tetris with all these batteries and cameras and all this other stuff. So I should have done this maybe earlier in the day, or maybe even yesterday, but I'm a habitual lallygagger, so here we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, you were in the middle of saying something before she hit us with that double whammy.
Well, just basically, I was just saying that, this process going forward for me is just now just a process of me just living living, being a service and getting my education and focusing on my art and just being who I am. My transformation is something that I don't need to demonstrate. It's just who I am, So I feel comfortable now that I've gone through the process the first time that, there's no performance art or there's no secret recipe or no buzzword or just, there's no, there's no silver bullet that's gonna get me, the things that I want, and my freedom being the first of which to unlocking the ability for me to chase my dreams. But it's just me just living how I'm supposed to live, what I know to be right and true, and going in there is just going to be a process of me telling the truth and being myself, and that's going to be good enough for me, whatever the result is on their end,
Yeah. Right now, oh man, we're getting a call from somebody else. I wonder who's calling in. Let me pick that call up, Silas. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Jesse Nava.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey Jesse, I'm live on the air right now. We're live. Can you give me a call back like in 15 minutes? I'm on the air with Silas.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, if I don't fall asleep, I'll definitely call you back. But I wanted to hit you up because I seen your message and I had a grip of other shit going on, so I figured you might be up. But I'll talk. More likely, I should be up still for a little bit, but just in case,
Okay.
But if not, I'll try to hit you tomorrow for sure.
Just tell David to keep you up. Tell him to count 60 to 60 seconds for times 15, and I'm sure he'll keep you up.
Right. Well, Dave's at family visit right now.
Oh, okay. No wonder you're still up.
Yeah, that's the only. That's the only reason I'm awake still. That's the only reason I can call you, because that fool's usually out cold,
Okay.
All right, send my love to Silas and shit now, and I'll call you back like around 11:10 or 11, somewhere around there, 11:15.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool, man. Thank you.
All right. Yep.
All right. Bye. Let me switch it back. Hello, Silas.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. It was Jesse. And he's sending his love your way.
Oh, absolutely, man. I send the love right back, bro.
That's right, man. I didn't know David was at a family visit.
Oh yeah, he is at a family visit. Yeah. He went yesterday. Yeah. Forgot.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how he's doing it. He's definitely. I know he was with. I think he had one in not too long ago. I want to say maybe like January, February, maybe, or maybe even sooner. But yeah, he's definitely a man. That's gonna be you soon. I'm sure you can't wait for that.
Yeah. I'm standing in the batter's box, man.
You know what? I think we should do a segment on what your what having a family visit is gonna mean to you, and then do a follow up. Once you have your family visit, just to your whole experience, just being away from prison. Because I'm sure when you're in that room, it's like you're not even in prison for those it's 2 days, right? That you're allowed to be away from it all.
Yeah, 43 hours. 43 hours, man. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. You know what? I think that'll be a good one when we bring Annie on, to get her perspective and your perspective on that whole family visit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'd be open to that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
We might
Definitely be cool.
we might have to do a spin-off, love after love during lockup, the real.
You know, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd definitely be interesting. Yeah, I was sitting here jamming to the little hold music, man. That was pretty dope, man. I like that.
I've never heard it. A few people they comment to me before, but I've never heard it before.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I like that. I like that.
Hey, Silas, do they let you take your tablet during these family visits?
No, they don't. No.
Ah.
No. You leave everything. You got a phone, a war room phone that you answer that for count, and that's it.
Okay. Huh. Well, I was thinking, man, we could get both of you guys on at the same time at the same place, but that's not gonna be.
No, it's gonna be do not disturb.
Did you already?
Do not disturb.
Did you guys already order your package, your meal package?
We actually sat down and put together our food list the other day, and it's kind of surreal, like it's kind of surreal, just with after all of this time and just after everything, like, I never thought that I'd be married to anybody, like ever, like in society or in here, so that part alone, and then just I mean, for those of you who don't know, life is, for the better part of my time in prison, weren't getting family visits, anyway, so it's just, it's just been really, it's been a huge blessing, and it's, but it's surreal, to kind of be, reaping the benefits of the life that I'm living now, as opposed to the life that I was. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you did change your life around. You didn't continue down the same destructive path that you had been over numerous years. Because I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be talking right now, and if we were, it would probably be a totally different conversation.
Oh yeah, it'd be a nonsensical conversation. For sure.
Yeah.
Man.
Did you, before when you had your own old mentality, did you ever have like a glimmer of hope of changing who you were, or that wasn't going to happen, back when you were in that mind state, if that question makes any sense?
I always knew that I could be more than what I was, than what I had been. I just didn't see any route to being the me that I am right now. It just didn't seem possible. There were just too many impediments. There was just too much in the way. There was just too much from my past that I'd done, and
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I just left a trail of destruction and harm and tragedy and trauma, and in front of me, I just couldn't see my way to being who I am right now. I knew that I had potential. In no universe, was that going to be able to be displayed, or realized.
Man, so I know we got about 4 minutes left on this call before it terminates. Do you want to go ahead? Do you want to send out a message to the audience? Any shout outs before we get cut off?
Yeah, absolutely. As always, I want to thank you for providing this platform to us. And the work that you're doing, it lifts all of us up, the viewers and participants alike, and what you're doing is invaluable to us, so thank you. To all of the viewers out there who constantly tune in and check for us and follow our stories and have invested in each and every one of us as human beings. I personally want to thank you earnestly from the heart. I appreciate you becoming a part of my life and allowing me to become a part of your lives by sharing your time with me. I mean, you could be doing something else, but you're hanging out with James and I, and that means something to me, sincerely. So I definitely appreciate you guys. I would ask that, that if you have an incarcerated loved one, check on them, have a conversation with them, and, try and give them a little bit of hope, a little bit of light in the dark place. I know my family, my brother in particular, and my wife, have been instrumental in me just realigning my purpose, and my passions have also done that. So, you never know what you can do for somebody by just reaching out and offering some love and support. Last but not least, I'm a struggling artist, so I would ask anybody out there to check me out there. Silas M. Johnson, The River's Light in the Barren Tunnel, Elegies and Effigies. My book is available anywhere online, Barnes & Noble, Nook, Amazon. Go pick that up and support a starving artist. And after that, that's pretty much it, James.
That's right, hey. And they look you up. Don't forget the M. Silas M. Johnson.
Silas M. Johnson. Absolutely.
Man, so hey, I want to go ahead, once again, thank you, Silas, for calling in and spending this hour with me and with the audience, and sharing your experience, your journey, your thoughts, and all that good stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to having you and the missus on here one of these days, and picking both of your brains. And we got a KC_fan1. Good night, Silas, and everyone else. Say gracias, and good night to you. And like I said around here, go ahead.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Go ahead, James. Take it away.
And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out. Good night y buenas noches.